Hello and welcome everyone, it is me the Lover, also known as Power to Duel, is back for you in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel with Morphtronics in Ranked. And if you're wondering how this idiot got to Diamond 3, this is why I am here. Did not record the games initially that I played with the Vernusylph list, because I was like, okay, let's get a couple, by the way, a couple games in for practice, which, started down here, and it started well, then it didn't go well, and then I suddenly just went with, 4 wins. So we'll take a look at the couple replays. Don't know if, all of these will fit into this video, or like into a decently sized video. Otherwise, I am, going to, just show this one for the fun of it, because cash tier player not reading, so, I'll take any opportunity to dunk on cash players. But with that out of the way, let's get into this first game. This was against Black Wings out of all decks. And with that, we're in. Not a whole lot of Morphtronics in the opener. The Vernusylphs will have to do some heavy lifting, and they're about to, opponent goes through, a Vada into a Blackwing, Dragon Specials a Shanga into a full armor master, meaning they have a tower on the field. And Shanga on the graveyard can banish itself if my opponent controls a Blackwing Synchro. Target a face-up card on my field and pop it. Opponent goes to Max C here on the activation of the duck. Which, nice point that I noticed while, playing these Vernusylphs. The summon at the end is optional, which does make these silly little guys, I guess, a tad bit better into Max C. Adding Vera here off of the duck, deciding to trip attack, shuffle back the card in hand. Even though it probably wasn't like crazy bits of engine, I still wanted to get my opponent on less cards for the follow-up in the hopes of, not dying. Opponent goes Twin Shadow and end step for a Boreas Storm. Boreas Storm dumps the, I believe, Zephyros again. Blackwings really want that guy in the graveyard, so, makes an Assault Dragon by banishing Boreas Storm and a Blackwing Dragon from the graveyard. Punches me for a whole lot of damage. 2 effect activations, by the way. Draw for turn, find another repair unit, water Morphtronic monsters, go for Vernusylph Thawing Mountains, discarding Vera, draw into Metal Silver Armor, summon Vera. Lovely animation for this Royal Vera. Very lucky that I got this. Probably one of the, coolest royals to get in that whole package. Goes to Shanga, pop the Vera on, the Vera trying to steal the Blackwing Assault Dragon. Incredible effect going second, by the way. Such a cool card. Blackwing Assault Dragon punching over the full armor master here. Opponent draws for turn, seemingly finding at least something playable. Small World, banishing Chinook, and revealing a Simurgh in the deck to add a copy of Sudri. Sudri will be normal summoned, grabbing another copy of Vada. Crazy set of support, by the way, that deck has gotten. I've had the pleasure of reading those cards multiple times. Shoutouts to Dyer. But, yeah. Goes Blackwing Dragon here, because that's, the only thing you can make with Vada. Has to tribute off the Sudri here to make any further synchro plays. Before anything bad happens, I decide to, Assault Dragon here. Otherwise, I was wanting to, wait until the end of the main phase. Draw into, oh baby, a triple. Hopefully opponent fades another draw step and we can clutch it out on the follow-up. And as it seems, our opponent has faded another draw steps, but I didn't. Saffron's a crazy top deck here. A whole lot of gas to cook with, and Saffron is, I think, all I need. Revealing Smartphone off the top here is, of course, very crazy, because it gets us to further Morphtronics with a Converter in hand. We do have a lot of lines open. Grabbing a Telephone here for the potential extension. Turning a Saffron into a Linkuriboh here. Something that probably makes it onto a couple bandless wish lists by now in the TCG. Repair unit, discarding Telephone, summoning back the Telephone, and even if I'm, Max C, one of Max C's most avid haters, I think everyone that follows my Twitter, do that, it's linked in the description below, by the way, will know about that. If there's one good thing I can say about it, it gives also a consistent target to summon out of opponent's graveyards, which is quite nice. Going Telephone for Telephone here, using the Linkuriboh to kind of perform the Telephone shuffle, as I'd like to call it, to bring back a Telephone, even if, we just want to get like a game on the board. Telephone for Southon here, Southon for a... where is he? Come on. Unlucky. No one shows up, so I decide to convert this telephone back to the top to make put a Remoten on the board. I do have a level 1 engrave, so Remoten does very nicely just grab me a telephone I just stacked. Making a copy of Earphone here. Going to use another repair unit to bring back a Remoten. Which, yeah, if this looks like BM, it really isn't. I need to, like, really jump through some hoops. You're going to see this later in the deck profile. Because the list doesn't run access code. I did not find the space for that. So, yeah. And this was the first game on my journey to Diamond 3, I guess, and we'll just jump right into the next one. And we are loaded into the second game of a silly journey to Diamond 3 against Drytron, out of all things. That new support, by the way, is looking great, even if every Drytron player in the universe is like, no, these aren't playable, just because, you know, for once you are forced to actually make the Drytron rituals and not this thing, or, you know, a Dark Magician of Black Chaos Max. Leading Duck here into Maxi. Not great. Why do people keep opening this? Adding Awakening Forest here because I decide I want follow-up. Hope that the last card in hand isn't a fairy, because then I would have played into this. But, yeah. Tactics gets negated. I, you know, go ahead, dump a Redox here off of Thawing Mountains, bringing back Remoten. Decide that I might need to at least make something happen here. Bring back the Redox. Turning those two not into Baron, but into a Chengying. Crazy good card here. Sadly, I have to give my opponent 3 draws in the process. But at least that Dawn Herald is off the board. Opponent is now drawing for turn 4 cards in hand. Oh wow, what a cool card that Maxi is, huh? Cyber Emergency, not a whole lot I can do against that. Adding Alpha Thuban here. And that's pretty much, I believe, all that Drytron really needs to just go off, you know. Meteonus adds itself back here off of the Zeta, getting cut down by 1000 attack. Alpha Tribute Zeta summons itself, adds a copy of Benton. Oh boy, where have I seen that before? Turning Alpha and the hard-drawn Ava here into a Mu Beta Fafnir, which I believe dumps a Drytron card. Dumps Gamma Eltanen, tributing Benton, summoning the Zeta back, triggering Benton. Benton adds a Diviner. It's Drytron. Honestly, I might actually look at that deck with, you know, the new support, because the cards seem genuinely pretty neat. And something where you can, you know, just, like, play, I guess, a sort of mid-range game and not just, like, do some silly lockout combo, which is kind of cool. Adds 2 fairies here off of, you know, the Ava hitting the grave, but kind of forgetting that Chengying has an effect, which does end in a very quick shame concede. Well, and with that, we are loaded into the third win that got me to Diamond 3 against Adventure Sprite. Goes to summon the Griffin Rider here, goes Normal's Pixie, Specials Carrot, and we know where 2 level 2s go. When an Xyz animation occurs, a Gigantic Sprite hits the board. Detaching material for Sprite Blue here, adding a Jet. Jet, of course, being able to easily hit the board off of, you know, controlling a level 2, adding Starter. Which can, you know, of course, either be extension or just add an interruption to the end board in the form of red or carrot. Summoning Elf here. This thing is always like a crazy jump scare because this hasn't been legal in the TCG for, like, I believe a solid year by now. And in MD, it's just always, you know, oh, yeah, that's a thing you can do. Ending on IP, Elf, Red Carrot, and Elf can easily bring back, you know, a Jet or Blue for follow-up, top deck into Gadget Gamer here. Kind of almost hoping that he reads the second Gamer effect, because then, you know, stuff like Smartphone, Cellphone is live, and the Duck gets to resolve, which is, of course, very good. Which is something I noticed. The Vernusylphs are very handy at, you know, forcing your way through disruption. You know, of course, extenders are going to be good at forcing your way through disruption. Cellphone rolling a 4 here, revealing 4 cards, but not a whole lot of stuff that really gets me off the ground. As you can see, I'm sending Redox a lot, still running that guy, absolutely love him. And I believe I always say winter when referring to this guy. It's Awakening Forest, the nice part of, you know, just getting to easily Foolish Redox. It's very, very handy. Had to go with a smartphone here with the telephone I put on the grave, off of, you know, banishing the cell phone I put on the graveyard earlier. And with the Gadget Hauler I resummoned. Somehow, you know, we've resolved the Gadget Gamer without actually resolving a Gadget Gamer. Power 2 Dragon hits the board, grabbing Morphtronic Repair Unit. He goes to make Avramax, and here's like a small, you know, reading moment for me. I enter combat, enter main phase 2 really fast because I would like to, you know, clear the carrot. But Avramax, of course, forces PTD to attack that guy. And what you are about to see looks very weird. I fire Converter here, targeting Power 2 Dragon to turn that into a telephone. But, you know, as you're probably used to by now on this channel, there is always method to the madness, at least in some degree. Going for Southon here that I can summon back off of Telephone. Absolutely getting rewarded for this play. Turning Link Rebo Telephone into an Author here. Absolutely amazing card. I found myself making Authors so often. Did not realize that just having like a very low commitment Link 2 to make in this deck was such a big deal. I'm just summoning guys. Making a Stubborn Mania here with the Telephone and Southon mainly. I think I was just trying to free up board space to a degree, I guess. Go Southon here, revealing a 1, don't really find anything, and then I press the button, you know. If there's 5 materials on the board, why not make the greatest Link monster ever printed? Underworld Goddess hits the board. Sadly, this does trigger Avramax. He decides to shuffle back the Telephone, which is quite unfortunate. I do get to equip Raptinus to Underworld Goddess, which kind of makes her an actual tower. Somehow. Summoning back the Redox here, I just figure if the Redox returns to my hand in the next turn, and I find like any Earth monster, it's straight up Reborn, and I do have like quite a couple good targets in here. Stubborn Mania is a very good target, adds back any Earth. So like, you know, Telephone's online, gets back Southon. There's like just a lot of cool stuff, you know, I can do here. Opponent goes through some adventure, plays, bounces the Author back. Would have really liked to, you know, get that value. And this is the famous moment that nobody knows about, that Underworld Goddess has this negate effect for an effect that would summon a monster from the graveyard, and with, you know, that being once per turn, my opponent realizes that on my turn the elf is once again not resolving, and you know, concedes this game. As you can see, some of these games are like quite scuffed to a degree. So yeah, but honestly, it was a lot of fun. The games were a lot of fun, and let's get into the final one, even if that's probably like the one we'll watch on, you know, speed up the most. Alright, this is going to be a weird one against Adventure, Kashtira, Snake Eye, FTK. You're going to see a lot of crazy stuff happen in this line. Goes through an adventure package, puts an Illegal Knight on the board, adds a Griffin Rider, discards Vera. A Griffin Rider puts itself on the board, 2 level 7s. Oh gee, I wonder where this is going. Galaxy Tomahawk hits the board. Tomahawks here for only 3 Battle Eagle tokens. Turns the first one into a Link Spider, and makes a Proxy F Magician. Makes another Link Spider, sending that to the graveyard for a Snake Eye Ash that we summon off of a Original Sin for Spoil here. Ash for Poplar, Poplar for Divine Temple. I think you've seen these cards a couple times already. Ash sends itself and the Oak in the Spell Trap Zone for a Flamberge Dragon. And then we make Blaze Phoenix off of Proxy F Magician. Burning for, I believe this was 2100 damage. Making a Promethean Princess here in the process. Poplar, putting the Flamberge Ring back into Spell Trap Zone. Promethean Princess, summoning back the Blaze Phoenix, turning those into an Ambler Whale. Making an IP Masquerena. Going Zealantis here. Zealantis effect. Resetting the board. Putting the Blaze Phoenix back on the field. Why aren't we banning soft once per turn burn cards? And this is where my opponent hits the concede button. Yeah, apparently that's like a concede. I don't know. I just take the rank up and move on with my life. Well, it's a damn good thing that I saved this replay, because Master Duel didn't want to give it to me. This is, I believe, the first game that I'm showing today that I get to go first. Hand looks good. Not crazy, but good. I do go for a telephone here that I summon in defense. I would like to get a Southhorn in the graveyard here, before, you know, trying to continue going off, because I do have a couple lines here that can get me into some decent plays here. Making a Link Rebo to get that telephone to graveyard to turn Smartphone live. Rolling a 5, which is pretty good. Revealing a, you know, another Smartphone here, another telephone. Couple of good reveals. I decide to pick up the telephone because I still have my normal summon open to me. Turning those two into an Author, you know, there she is once again showing up. Go for the Vernusylphs of the Thawing Mountains here, discarding the telephone, summoning telephone back. Telephone, rolling, you know, that 6-sided die here, grabbing me a copy of Smartphone. Hoping to find, like, a converter, possibly. Going for Redox. The Vernusylphs are also very good at fueling Redox. Redox, Smartphone, turn those two into an Exile Synchro Stardust Dragon. Without the effect, that is something that I had to kind of get used to in testing a bit. But I think I stumbled over this, like, once, maybe, while actually testing this list. And we cannot have a video on, you know, Morphtronics in Master Duel Ranked without, you know, of course, at least Braver Dragon hitting the board once. And there he is. Also Braver pass with a not live thrust in hand. There was some games I really like, you know, a triple tactics thrust and talents, especially talents, because that's a card I actually own IRL. But they are never live, I feel like. Go Special Unicorn here. Tries to crash in the Braver, not reading Life Extreme. Puts a Rise Heart on the board, making a rank 7. Which rank 7 is he making? Oh boy, I think we all know where this is going. Number 11, Big Eye. Can someone read to me the effect of Big Eye? And notice what kind of equip spells are on that Braver Dragon. And this is just like, you know, yes, of course, silly reading. But it's a Cash Tiras player. So, you know, who cares? With that out of the way, I think it's, you know, very much appropriate to finally reveal the deck list. This is the list I played in all those games. This list, I think it's good. I'm running a total of 8 Vernusylphs. I felt like this was a good and appropriate number to consistently find at least one. As you've seen in some games, I did find a couple multiples. And of course, you know, running the one Vera alongside them. Just a very good card all around. Really thankful that I got a Royal. Probably not getting the Negate Life a whole lot, but having, you know, a 2400 special summon that is also Snatch Steal is kind of nice. Especially since, you know, she circumvents the Vernusylph restriction by turning the monster you steal into an Earth. So technically, if you steal a Baron, you can use the Negate if it wasn't used before. Otherwise, this is pretty much the list you are used to by now. I did not find the space for Hobbies for others, and didn't want to go 42, running 2 talents and a thrust, because I would like to have, you know, some countermeasures into stuff like Ash Blossom, because the Vernusylphs really don't like hand traps. I mean, you know, that's one thing they at least have in common with the Morphtronics. On the whole, engine itself decided to max out on Duck. For the uninitiated, all of these discard themselves and another monster or Vernusylphs card, and then lock you into only being able to activate the effect of Earth monsters for the rest of the turn. And then they have individual effects, and then they also summon an Earth monster from the graveyard. The Bear lets you draw a card. The Duck adds an Earth Fairy monster from deck to hand, which is why I was considering on running the Caldo and the Mudora that I own. Funnily enough, both Royals. This is not just a flex, but good cards to just combine them with, you know, the Duck, if, you know, the format is very graveyard heavy, which, you know, with the Snake Eye deck might actually be something cute to, like, look into. Flourishing Hills adds any Vernusylph card, and then, you know, summons a guy, and Awakening Forest is able to Foolish Burial any Earth monster, which is kind of cool. As you've seen, you know, I'm mostly using that for Redox, but technically in, like, corner cases you can of course use this to like bin a cell phone, bin a telephone, and then, you know, start going off from there. So you have like at least some way to get from one engine to the other. But mainly these are just extenders from Morphtronics that kind of help you, you know, force your way through into action. For the extra deck, not a whole lot of changes here. I did shave some of the non-earths. I was like considering maybe for like the flavor of it, running the deck with like only earth monsters. Leave a comment down below if you want to see that, because, you know, I'd be down to do silly stuff like this in the future. Because I don't know, just for like flavor would be cool. Naturia Barkion is like a cool option that the Vernusylphs open up, because Duck and Bear are both level 3 Earths, and with Remote you do have rather easy access to Barkion, which is kind of cool, having, you know, Beast's counterpart. I was thinking of Exterio for a moment, but, you know, no, not really happening. Running a Samurai Destroyer here just because it's another Earth, I think this could very easily just be a Draco Berserker. The Earth lock doesn't come up as often as you'd expect. Not only because, you know, I'm only playing 8, I'm realistically mostly seeing 1. And I'm also rarely leading a combo with these unless I absolutely have to. Because you do trade a bit of, you know, the safety that like making an early Baron or Appaloosa would leave your combos, usually with against, you know, hand traps or, you know, bigger important stuff like a Nibiru, for example. Otherwise, yeah, I think very, very much familiar faces. I did throw in a G-Golem Stubborn Many here just to have like another, you know, Link 2 to make. If this is special from the Earth, you can target an Earth Engrave that can be normal summoned or set and summon it back or add it to your hand, but if you summon it, it has its effects negated and is banished if it leaves the field. So this is mainly just like a neat follow-up card. You can, like, you know, of course make this turn 1, turn it into an Appaloosa, and then, you know, possibly grab it back on a follow-up with like a Vernusylph or like a Redox. But this probably could also just be a Nightmare Phoenix and do just as much. But yeah, very different form of like Morphtronics and Master Duel Ranked video today. Mainly out of circumstance, because I did not expect to like get Diamond 3 that fast. Probably will be back to the old formula with the next one. As mentioned, I've, you know, there's a lot of stuff has come up for me IRL, which I need to get sorted out, work on. So sadly, YouTube has to kind of take a back step to that, even if I really would have liked it to be different. But sadly, it's the way. But yeah, still very thankful for all the, you know, support that my videos have gotten over the years. As I've, you know, said in that community post, and, you know, do say at like every occasion almost, it is very humbling, and it is an honor that, you know, me as, you know, the silly guy that I am, get to entertain I'd say, you know, fairly sizable audience by now. With, you know, just rocking my favorite deck and doing, you know, silly stuff like this, as you're seeing on screen right now. So yeah, with all that out of the way, very thankful for all of you sticking through with me through all these years. And yeah, I'll thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll be seeing you guys again next time. But until then, goodbye.